inside of it. Glorious day has come, and Duarte just drove to Georgia. What did he come back with?
It's one of 75 ever made. It's 10 years old. It's been sitting in this box since 2013, 2012. The owner of it sold it to us, wouldn't put it on the car because he couldn't find a shop to match the Arctic Silver paint.
Frozen silver, Arctic silver.
Frozen silver.
Something.
Something silver.
The silver
really
on his
cool.
E92 M3.
Yeah, a really cool paint job. He couldn't do it. So he left it in the box. He no longer has the E92.
So this thing's never been mounted, never even really been unboxed by the looks of it. And it's got all of the OEM mounting hardware and stuff that come with it. And this Vorsteiner bumper is really sought after, so they're really hard to get. And we happen to find one. Now we get to see the goods. Already loving the carbon fiber because it's gonna match our little accents on the hood. While he's unboxing it, I'll show you this. Original packing slip from 2013. It's been almost 10 years that this damn thing has just been sitting in this box.
I heard he cried when he sold it to D.
Probably.
I would cry too. This is a beautiful bumper.
Especially holding on to something for this long and then just never installing it. Like,
that's commitment right there.
Yeah.
Ladies, get yourself a man like that.
Yeah, no commitment issues.
Didn't even open it up, take it out of the package.
Right? It's like getting a Christmas present and never opening it. Show them the goods.
Yes. Still got the sticker.
And it comes with a lip too, which
all
is
the
carbon fiber, I imagine.
Grill.
Oh yeah, saucy. Be gentle.
I'm trying to kick these over like
Yeah.
you did last week.
And Chris did last week. Fine adjustments will be made. General idea, very sloppy mock-up. Look at that intercooler in the grill, that's just sweet.
Oh yeah. Our partners over at Nuke sent us a little gift, which we were actually the first ones to install a little prototype thing they had called Air Shocks. Air jacks, excuse me. We installed them in Blue Thunder, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, before Drift Week 2, we put them in Blue Thunder, and we actually put a compressor and everything inside the car, which made it functional on the side of the track. We didn't have to jack it up every time because it was pretty low. This one, we actually have the whole kit. So we're gonna set this one to actually just run off of an airline off of a compressor. So it comes with your flex hose, your push locks,
Even
your mounting plates, pre-made with cool little sauce in them. We appreciate the sauce.
Yeah, we didn't have these before.
Yeah, and before we mounted them all the way in the rear by the, almost by the rear bumper. Well, we learned that it requires a whole bunch of shock travel just to barely get the wheels off the ground. So with these, we are going to mount them pretty much right where our main hoop is on the roll cage because we can tie them into that for a little extra reinforcement. And a little bit of travel goes a long way to get the wheels off the ground. Don't worry about that little guy. Look at this unit. Oh, love these things.
I still got the yup.
Yeah.
I love they put the little Swedish flag on there every time.
We're representing out here.
Yeah.
It's here for the boys. It comes with these sweet little powder coated johns that you just
Sick!
pop on there, and that way even if the air lets out, it'll lock out your air shock.
Wow, that is. We need
And it
to
comes
order
with a little
another.
carrying case.
We
you
need
know?
to get another set of those for Blue Thunder.
I mean, realistically, we should only be bringing one car at a time to the track.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They gave me some more fab work to do.
Yeah, and again, goes back to how awesome it is that we have the whole interior of this car painted and steel it, because after we weld these brackets in and mount everything, it's that much easier because we just touched up with steel it and you'll never know.
Couple spritzes.
Couple spritzes here and there.
Good to go. Chris, tell them about the sauce.
Plumbed in some hard lines, made them look pretty cool. Still got to get the little mounting tabs for it. We have these little push locks, which ended up working out the same size as the hard line for fire suppression. And Cricket made these brackets here with the little Drift HQ logos, reinforced, wrapped around the cage there.
Sorry.
Don't die. And then the base plates are welded right to the floorboards, and the collar from the bottom also locks it in place. So we tested it all for air leaks, and now we put the car on the floor, and we're gonna show you the goods. This is an added safety feature that Nick provides for you, that you just put this. Yeah, the other ones did get a little sketchy. Sometimes you're under the car doing stuff and then you start hearing air leaking and you're like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. And then you do get out of there and then you realize that, you know, these types of things are invented for a reason.
Yep. So shout out to Nuke Performance, their air jacks. We also got a whole lot of fittings from them, PTFE fittings and all sorts of sweet stuff.
Our oil coolers, our trans cooler, our fuel lines, and all this stuff here. We got a new catch can in this thing. I mean, they hooked us up with like their whole damn catalog, so appreciate you.
It was one of the other episodes, so you have to go back and watch it. A lot of Nuke stuff in here. Love it. Shout out to them. Definitely love these air shocks, air jacks, air jacks.
Leah, what do we have in sales on?
IRP, 15% off.
Till when?
Till when, Joel?
31st.
Next month, the 31st.
Brian, what else is on sale? We have select NRG seats on sale.
We got NRG seats on sale.
Select.
Select NRG seats for sale. We got the FIA for sale. We got tie-dye for sale. Oh, there's something for sale here. Come.
What's for sale?
We got ARP on sale. I got tons of ARP head studs and main studs for SR20, RB, JC, BMW. All of them are for sale. Hit me up, Brian at drifthq.com. Do the subtitle things. Okay, now back to the video.
So I just got back from Brazil, and while I was gone, Chris made some headway on a lot of other projects that had nothing to do with our current project.
Well, this project has made a lot of headway on in terms of programming, which I am not a fan of. Fun fact, I sat on a laptop for about 7 hours yesterday. I got all of our outputs working. The PMU's programming. I have no CAN errors, so now we just need to program all the little stuff. Our engine harness is also supposed to be here today, which was kind of my motivating drive to get everything wrapped up yesterday. So once I get that going, then we can activate like fan controllers and whatnot based off of engine temperature, fuel pumps off of engine RPM and stuff like that. In the meantime, I am just finished wiring up our little fan doodad here, which is gonna hide itself down yonder because
and that's a fan control module, you told me?
Well, technically this is just a very spicy, fancy fan relay. Yeah, solid state relays at least.
So it's gonna take from normally pumping out 12.
Yeah, this is gonna feed directly from the alternator from this little power stud right here, so she's gonna get all of the juice. It's definitely gonna crank out some serious CFMs because I had it just wired to the PMU, but originally I wired it because we were only running one fan. And instead of splitting the entire harness open, I just decided to get this thing here to activate 2 fans. But just off of the 12 volts, not even 12 volts that was on the PMU from just the battery in the trunk, this thing is like, you could damn near move your car through the pits with the fans on.
So once he lowers this down, I'm gonna let him go over all of the cool buttons that now work and are labeled.
So while we are disconnected, we have our fuel pump 1, fuel pump 2, fuel pump 3. Then over here is our switch layouts. There's a couple videos online, but not a lot of stuff that's too specific on how to do it. Then over here is your actual switch information. So what each switch is, so you label these as whatever you want them to be identified as under your panel. So these buttons here, that's how we set everything up. So all 3 pumps will turn on off of this switch or through the ECU. Fan will turn on through this switch or also through the ECU. Wipers, they actually have a cool wiper module that makes sure your wipers always stop in its home position so that it doesn't stop with the wiper in the middle of the face. And then lights, headlights, taillights, cool suit, which isn't in this car right now, but we already pre-wired it because we anticipated that he was going to drive it in sweat. And, you know. And then the starter too, we can add all kinds of cool functionality with it, like whatever your on and off position is, and also the button type. So this is a non-latching switch, so you press the button and it doesn't stay on. It stays on as long as you hold it, as your starter should. Bunch of little stuff. Then obviously for all of our outputs and stuff like that, I can also program inrush current. So like your fans, when they're at a dead stop and they have to fire up, it takes a minute for them to not be drawing a whole bunch of amperage. So you can set your inrush time. So for the fans, say I set 120 amps for 3 seconds, anything more than that, then it'll reset. Then the fans carry a little bit of momentum. So it'll retry 3 times every 1 second if it does break the circuit. And then it also has a max amperage rating, which will shut off the circuit. But because it's all solid state, you won't be popping any fuses or anything like that. And this is your channel where you actually put your outputs set to so that it actually is triggered by the button. And Johan came over yesterday and helped me sort out the last of my little programming because I couldn't get the system for the PMU to recognize CAN 2. CAN 2 has our ECU on it and a bunch of other stuff on it, so he got all that sorted out for me, so big thanks to that guy. Version 2 of our fans wired up, given the car's not running, so our alternator's not going to be putting out the voltage, but... No? Suspicious. I should probably plug in that connector.
Oh, so that's why it wasn't working?
Battery's not got enough juice.
Take 3. Oh. Just gonna take one of these real quick. Keep going, all right. We got in a package from Wiring Specialties today.
Shout out to our boy Yuri, always hooking it up, always gets us the stuff real quick. They got JZ harnesses, LS harnesses, K harnesses,
RV harnesses.
Yeah, they got all the goods.
Probably even got beams and all sorts of other randos.
Yeah, he's your guy. Even if you just need like random connectors and like, you know, miscellaneous stuff, he can plug you in. So when you're building stuff, hit us up. We'll link you up with these guys and, you know, make things happen.
They can make cool things for your car.
Yeah. So now the magical unboxing, and then we got to drill a hole in our firewall, which is going to be slightly stressful. Hopefully you have some good hole saw bits. And as with the harnesses, always you get these awesome I/O sheets. For those who don't know, it is input output. So it tells you exactly how you need to wire things and where all of your outputs are. So when you're tuning your car, you have functions like fuel pump outputs and fan outputs and things like that. So they give you a whole pinout to tell you exactly what's going on with your stuffs and some very general instructions on how to wire it up. But with the standalone harnesses, pretty much all you gotta do is hook up power and ground and they work.
Let's look at the goods.
What's that?
Boot and loot? I don't know. But
Oh, we got a boot. Holy hell. Look at this guy.
Yes. That's sick.
Is it though?
Oh. You know, I'm a fabricator. You know what that looks like? You'll like this one better.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of thing we need tucked right behind the intake manifold.
Yeah.
Those are the goods. That's what we want. The fun part is always, you know, putting that boot on. Yeah, that's the plate.
Yeah.
So these, I believe, are for the Supras and the SCs because these have like a factory plate over there behind the battery where your harness passes through, which is sweet, but we're just not using it. Yeah. So we're gonna, that's gonna be up underneath the dashboard. Fortunately for us, we are running a PMU. So our PMU will actually take all of the inputs and outputs just through CAN data, which is
how much time it took him to do this?
These 2 wires. So this is all we're gonna need to run pretty much all of our outputs on the car. And then over here, there's like powers and grounds and stuff that we need to hook up.
Beautiful.
Things you love to see.
It all measured out nice, able to tuck it.
Yeah.
It should tuck me.
Because we do have some rather unusual component locations for sensors and stuff like that, because we try to mix it up a little bit with this build. So with that, we will be all compensated for by our buddy here, who extended all the wires we needed to. So let's work for your boy.
You gotta appreciate that.
So this worked out well because we didn't have to feed the harness through the firewall in the car. So we did end up slash cutting the back of our grommet to wrap it around this like so. But this is gonna make it way easier for us to get it in the car because we can actually pass this through here, put our grommet in place. She's gonna go in there real nicely.
Nice and tight. And then how do you hold the other part together? Just a zippy? Zippity-doo-dah?
Yeah, I'm just gonna zip tie this back together at the base here and it'll still serve its purpose.
So I'm gonna do this one-handed and try to hold this. So we're gonna play.
Now I'm gonna try not to get a bunch of sand in my eyes. 'Cause, you know,
Yeah, fun fact, when you sandblast the car,
you never really get all the sand out.
ever, it gets in places you don't even know exist.
All right, stab that into the firewall, my guy.
Pause.
You don't get what it is. You make your own plate. Figure it out. But yeah, grommet, that 90 on there ended up clearing us just perfectly. Still got to reroute a few things, obviously. But now we have all the slip we need in and out. We don't have to worry about it dragging on the firewall or causing any damage to our harness.
I'm gonna bolt this thing down, nice and tight. Then we can put our fuel lines back on the fuel rail. Little clampies.
We'll feed our harness around first, and then we'll put that line back on because that does give us a little bit more clearance, I like. So our engine harness is all installed, tucked up nice and tight. All of our remote sensors out this side. Had to extend a couple things. Got our boost control solenoid wired in. Our adapter down there for our DC power alternator with the resistor in line. While Cricket is not here today, I took a shot at welding. Not the best thing in the world, not the worst thing in the world. But this is gonna be a firewall mount for this guy right here. Is basically gonna serve as our clutch pedal position sensor. So this is gonna mount to the firewall and this is gonna go where the OEM slave end used to mount to the pedal. So I gotta find a bolt for that side. And then this side, with a couple of washers, will sit in here. I made it a little wider than I needed to just to give myself some wiggle room. But yeah, you know, trying things. So hardware in place, a couple little plastic washers, pivots freely. I have to put 2 nutserts in the firewall to mount that, and then we can set voltages based on pedal up and pedal down and where we want the engagement point of this to be. Pretty sweet. Yes, I'm a terrible welder. All right, so aside from me needing to get a stiffer spring for the return here, my little mount back there does work well. Allows everything to travel without binding. It can hit the pedal stop on the firewall there without giving me any grief, which is great. So again, not the best fabricator, but that bracket doesn't really take any torsion or load. So just because this pedal is super soft right now, I want to put a stiffer spring on it, give it some kind of tension, and also give something to kind of preload it so it starts the same height as the brake pedal, because right now it's all the way up here. So normally the master cylinder rod will hold it back a little bit. So there's not really any adjustment on that thing. We're gonna work with what we got.
Chris found out what it's like to use a automatic rivet gun.
Yeah, that was really sweet. Gotta give me one of those.
So our boy Bryce over at Breakbank made us these really sweet, cool Drift HQ logo Johnnies a while ago, and we've been trying to figure out a place to put it. And Chris came up with the great idea of putting it right there on the dashboard for when people do ride-alongs. The first thing they do is they grab their camera and boom, you see the dashboard. So shout out to Bryce. He's always hooking us up with little treats and trinkets for our cars. We have one more. It's not gonna go in this car. We're gonna put it in something else. Not sure quite what yet, but maybe his car. The arrows.
You love to see it.
Check out.
That little guy makes all the noises.
Well, we're gonna see.
We're gonna try.
We wanna make pop pops. Bang bang.
Full disclosure, I am not a tuner. I've just been recently playing with the ECU Masters software a lot. And
So he feels like he is a tuner?
Not enough to tune a car, but at least to get it started. So kind of just working with the basic parameters to start with. The only thing that's stumping me right now is figuring out the drive-by-wire setup, because everything we normally do is drive-by cable.
I was very excited for Chris to be in here doing tuny things until I told him that we don't have any E85 in the trailer.
We got starting fluid, brake cleaner. Fuel tables ain't gotta be all that.
I mean, don't you usually start them on 93 and then go to E85?
Only if you're tuning flex fuel. This thing's gonna be 85 all the time. That's just to compensate for actual ethanol content if you use like pump E85.
Gotcha.
Drive-by-wire wizard. So these are all of our predetermined gas pedals. Guess what? We don't have any of them.
So how are we gonna do this?
I'm just gonna go with
Sniffing?
generic 6-wire throttle pedal.
A lot of danger signs on there.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about like warnings about this thing blowing up or just trying to rev wide open. We're putting E85 in. We're gonna test fuel system stuff, fuel pressure stuff. Then we're gonna go back to trying to start this car and doing crazy backfires and stuff.
There's a huge smile on my face because where did we get this E85 from?
Oh, we took it from Mona. But she's gonna be sitting for a few months, so it's probably for her best, interest to not leave the 85 in there.
We stole it.
It's alright. She wasn't using it.
Yeah, she
She got a
ain't.
broken axle. She ain't going nowhere. Not that this car's going anywhere, but we need it.
Yeah, we want to hear like sweet bangs and pops like we did yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Scare the shit.
Scared his dog so much he ran all the way to the other side of the compound. And I mean
Ran.
that's like a good quarter mile. Like for her tiny little legs, that's like 5 miles. Like that's a journey.
Yeah, same thing with Josh.
Yeah.
Josh chased
short
her
legs
over
too,
there.
yeah.
He's got short legs. He came over winded.
He's like, she was running. I knew exactly why she was running, because that bang, I thought it blew the damn table out over here. It was so loud. So now our fuel pump shut up a little bit because there's actually fuel in them. It's crazy. Here our pressure regulator bypassing. We checked for fuel leaks. We had one small fuel leak from this little guy. May or may not have not put that plug in the center. We set our baseline fuel pressure at 40. It's a rising rate fuel pressure regulator, so it's raising 1 psi of fuel pressure with 1 psi of boost. So we crank this thing up to damn near 70 psi because optimistically we run up to 30 psi on this thing, maybe on the turbo. So at 30 psi, we'll be at 70 psi fuel pressure. So we know there's no leaks up to our maximum amount of allotted fuel pressure. So love that.
So test it higher than what you're gonna run it at
At your baseline, yeah. Because what doesn't leak at 40 might leak at 55, and you don't want to find out when you're on the dyno doing a full pull with a hot engine. Right now everything's cold, so she's happy. God, I love this PMU. Just one button turns on all the fuel pumps instead of having 3 buttons for fuel 1, fuel 2, and fuel 3.
You gotta love it.
Little things in life, you know?
Big tuner guy now.
Now, we're gonna go back to some pops and bangs.
Let me go.
Only Jordan.
Let me go put my dog in the car. What the fuck? Right away, asshole! God damn!
Not alive!
First try, barely even hit record. Now do it again and pretend like you didn't.
There goes the battery. The alternator's not charging because there's no belt on it. But it starts!
It starts. Oh, she's a mean one.
I did it. Again, no tuning experience. I just dealt with doing all the PMU stuff, and there's a lot of like similarities between the software for the PMU than there is for the regular ECU. And you know what? It works. Like, it doesn't...
That thing is throaty sounding. My boy!
Woo!
Let's go!
Big tuner guy.
So I got that one. I crossed it off for Chris, and you know, really just knocking them out.
Checks out. Yeah, we got this thing back in the shop for some touch-ups. Meantime, thinking about issues, potential future issues. The inside of this trunk, for one, we were worried about a lot of heat soaking in. So our boys at Funk Motorsports, we're gonna get some funk in the trunk, and we're gonna build a structure that's gonna go around this to encase it and kind of keep some of the heat off, as well as this block off that Cricket just made, threw a little beady roll on there to make it look cool, give it a little bit of structure. And it's also gonna help keep smoke out of the car. What we're actually gonna end up doing is mounting 2 fans here and here. But that's gonna not only pull the smoke out of the car and dump it down underneath the car, but it's also gonna keep a lot of the heat, because all the heat that's gonna soak in there is gonna end up radiating through there into the driver's compartment.
We don't want that. So we got some great heat management solutions from Funk. They came out with 2 new things. They have an exhaust sleeve that's like double layered, and then they also have that new double insulated, like corrugated metal that you can take and cut and bend and like make.
Yeah, I saw their video. They made the thing out of
Yeah.
cardboard and like shaped it and had like the whole underside of the turbo manifold covered. That was pretty sweet.
So I'm gonna do it all the way around this, make it look all sexy. Shout out to Funk for hooking us up with that. They were talking to us today about what we should do for heat management on this, so they're gonna send us a couple different things. And then also something new's coming out from them that we get to release to you guys.
Which was perfect for this application.
Yeah, we can't talk about it yet.
Oh, we can't talk about it?
Can't talk
I was
about it
to
yet.
show them the goods, but
Yeah.
all right, well, Funk's gonna be here in a couple weeks, so we're gonna give them the run through, and then maybe then they can tell you about the new product.
Yeah, or we can.
We can,
I'm
or
gonna do
both.
it too. We're gonna do it too. Yeah. We love talking about
Funk's
funk.
a living creature.
It's a funky ball of tits from outer space. Great day today.
Not only do I have these goods, you know the goods we get? We got our bumper and fenders and extensions and all that stuff back, so we're gonna see what this car actually looks like today. I'm very excited.
Shout out to Randy.
Yeah,
Hey, look, it's not a red fender anymore.
yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it. Skin?
I wouldn't even, it's a frame.
Yeah.
It's a mounting frame. There's nothing about that that is.
But it's a green mounting frame, and it used to be red.
Yep, that's what mounting. I'm gonna hit you with the slow reveal. Because damn it if that ain't beautiful.
Oh. Pants are very tight right now.
Coolers fit all of our air lines going to our intercooler and radiator. Everything worked out fantastic. And this thing just looks mean as hell. Can't wait to get our wheels.
Yes.
Where are our wheels?
We're gonna go steal some from someone.
Yeah.
We need a front grill too.
Yeah, I need a lower grill for it, and the sides don't really need grills, but you know, it's a wide grill. Got some width to her. Love to see it.
Love this. excited for this delivery. So our boys over in England set us up. We told them we needed some heat management, some solutions for us. So they sent us a whole care package of all of the new fresh products that they have. Oh yeah, that's what we wanted to see. So instead of us building our own block-off plates, we're still gonna build them, but we're gonna build them out of stuff that Funk provided for us, which is a double insulated, what do you call that, heat shield? But so you can make your own. So you basically do all your CAD board like you normally do. And
This stuff has like metal backing to it, so it actually like shapes and contours. Like the stuff from DEI is cool because you can just stick it to whatever, but this stuff actually has like structure to it. Like this stuff is...
You can build with it.
Yeah.
So they just came out with a new product that we're getting to demo and showcase for them. And
Are we allowed to talk about it?
yes, they wanted me to talk about it, actually. So
I know at first they were like, yeah, we haven't released it yet, so...
they're letting us release it, which is even cooler. So nobody's seen this yet. So if you notice on our turbo setup for the E92, our wastegate dump tube actually rubs against the outer shell of the turbo blanket. So Funk came out with this new design. It's their inside out design for the turbo shroud. So the stuff that's on the inside that keeps the heat in and is protected from burning is now on the outside. So you can run your wastegate dump tubes up against it. You can run it up against, rub your turbo manifold. You can do anything with it heat-wise against this new housing. Because the old one, it still holds up the heat, but it's not like this. This is actually, it's their inside out.
Inside and out. That's
So,
what you mean.
Yeah.
So you're saying the outside of a turbo blanket wasn't safe before?
It is made out of a
Is that
fiberglass and carbon composite material. So it still is able to handle the heat, but not like this. This actually has metal mesh and everything
On the outside.
on the outside. So it's their inside out version. Fresh out, our E92 is the first one to have it. Very excited. Thank you, Funk. And we have these new wraps that they sell.
For what?
So, well, anything you want.
Oh,
You
you're
can
wrapping.
wrap, you can do it. For us, they had it so we can wrap it around the pipes,
Wow. Which
So-
pipe?
the back. So it's gonna go everywhere that we can't get this to fit because the trunk goes like this at an angle and so do the exhaust pipes. So it's gonna be hard to get that to fit and be able to remove the trunk. So where it doesn't, where this plating won't back up to the edge of the trunk, this will be wrapped around the 3-inch or 3.5-inch tube pipes coming out. So I might need one more of these from them because I don't know if I don't think she'll fit.
I think she'll fit.
You think she'll fit? Well, we're gonna find out. But look at that. You know, they really put in the time and effort to make this look gorgeous. You know, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Funk. Out with the old/new.
All right. Literally. Oh, so now I can run on the blanket.
It can, yeah, it can actually
And
rub
the manifold over
and the manifold, so it won't burn up anything.
We have 11 quarts of this Redline DCT fluid that need to go in this transmission. Not all of which will fit right off rip, so we have to fire it up after we get like a quart or two in there once it starts spilling out, so that it circulates, then fill it up more, circulate, fill it up more, circulate. So it's gonna be a process. So we got this sweet drill pump.
Harbor Freight, Johnny. We love Harbor Freight.
Yeah, so that's gonna save us a lot of headache and
Because we used to have to pump it.
yeah.
And we would take
jam
turns.
that up in there. Yeah, because we used to have the regular transfer pump, you know, the little hand pump, and even like 4 quarts in a transmission kind of sucks. So
Couldn't imagine 11, so
This is
we're
gonna
not
be
gonna
way
imagine
better.
11.
you don't have to. We have the technology. Whether or not we're pumping this the right direction right now, I don't know.
Find out if it starts making air bubbles and shooting back at me. Sounds like it.
Okay. So we're trying to put a fitting inside of the drain plug. We found out it's M18. to see if we can make a non-messy solution that can handle a little bit more fluid delivery. Right?
Yeah, and not leak out when it gets up to the right side. Because, I mean, we really have only 3 down, almost 4 quarts down, and 7 more to go. So we're not even halfway there yet.
Yeah, no, I ain't gonna get it.
No?
No?
Not enough room.
We started with the fluid transfer pump, done some fittings. Now we're going to the traditional funnel.
The old school way, you know, we like old school shit. Last one. I went really fast.
Wait.
Hey, how much?
11 quarts. As if this transmission wasn't heavy enough when it was dry and we put it in the car.
What was that?
Air bubble. Quick, give me your rag. I got it on the paint. Thank you.
Protect paint.
Yeah. Then turn on the fans and shut Joe up and go around back and. Was it needed? Probably not. Did we do it? Hell yeah. Why? Because it's fucking awesome. And they're linked right to the taillights. So we didn't have to put any relays or anything on it. And they're available at drifthq.com, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Get you some. The more you know. So I've been pulling out transmissions, putting in transmissions with Chris today. We got everything we could done on this, what you saw in this video. The only thing we're waiting on is the glass is getting put in on Monday, and also the transmission tuner will be here on Monday as well. So the very few things left on this are gonna get buttoned up next week. So in the meantime, we got the F80 ready for Fuel Fest. We're gonna be there this weekend. Duarte's driving that. We're doing some little here and there things. We did a transmission in the orange car twice, you know, because might have messed one up. It was already messed up. We just cracked it, you know, fun stuff. So we're gonna be there. Hope to see you guys. So like, subscribe, comment, you know, hopefully we see you at Fuel Fest. Our next video will be the Fuel Fest, and the guy that won our giveaway car decided to come down and visit us, do some cool donuts and see the whole place. So look forward to that one too. I'm gonna get back to finishing this trans with Chris. Well, this is not a fun time.